Hi, Facebook. Tara Evelyn here. So, there has been a lot of talk lately about the use of CBD, hemp oil, and ADD, ADHD. I've gotten a lot of questions and a lot of people asking me about this because it's really gone, it's pretty well known that CBD is becoming and is super popular. Hey, Judy. So a lot of people have noticed that it is helping with ADD. So I just wanted to come on here and share with you guys my story and share with you guys about Jack, my son. So we started Jack on the oil we tried a couple weeks ago and he didn't like the taste of it. He said he wanted strawberry or grape or something like that. Um, so we started again about a week or so ago, and he's fine with it now. But I have some notes here, so let me just go for my notes here. So let's see here. First of all, and I always link like the research that I use too, but it has been shown full spectrum CBD oil is able to help issues related with anxiety, learning, motivation, attention, and cool. So the problem is the medication that is on the market right now. There is medication for ADD and ADHD, but from what I can tell, from what I've read, when the doctors wanted to put Jack on some, it's not. It doesn't work for everybody, from what I could read. Okay, and it's some pretty strong stuff to kind of chance. There are some side effects. So some people, that it doesn't help. They could only have the side effects, and that happens. And they're not really good side effects. So good morning. But anyways, so the ADD, first of all, the ADD is attention deficit, disorder. And the ADHD is a little different. It has the hyperactivity on it. Now, again, I'm not a doctor. I've just kind of researched this and wanted to share, a little backstory with you guys. So there are two different diagnoses, okay? Now, I myself have been diagnosed with the ADD. So that's what I am most familiar with, and from what I can tell, the difference between the two is the hyperactivity. So the individuals with ADD do have the ability to stay peaceful and calm, which is the difference that I read. Let's see here. So it's most diagnosed during childhood, between the ages of 6 and 12. It's been shown to affect more boys and girls different ways. And actually, until recent years, from what I've read from recent years, girls were massively underdiagnosed. Like, I will share my story in just a little bit, but I went my whole entire life with being undiagnosed and thinking that that is the way everybody's brain works, okay? So, for instance, I was never great at school. I tried so hard to concentrate and so hard to study and everything else. But there were just some things I wasn't good at. I wasn't good at taking tests because I couldn't focus, especially time tests. I couldn't do that. But there's other things I excelled in, like the social and the public speaking and the speeches where, other students didn't want to do that. That's where I really, excelled at it because, I guess I just like talking. So anyways, children affected with ADD portray certain behavioral symptoms such as talking constantly, fidgeting, lack of focus when handling quiet tasks, difficulty in reading social cues, impatience. That describes me to the T, okay? And again, I just thought that was how I was. That's how I thought everybody's brain was, okay? I just never realized it wasn't. And I have here on my little notes here, A British study confirmed a 75% chance this condition is genetic, okay? And I have 3 children, so, it's not surprising that one of them is, starting to display these behaviors. It's also stated it's directly related to the dopamine receptors in your brain, okay? So dopamine is, what is responsible for memory, attention, and I believe, I think, Regina, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't dopamine the feel-good things that you need in your brain to like whenever you get depressed, isn't it dopamine that's lacking? And serotonin, I think. Anyways, yeah, so dopamine's an organic chemical responsible for thought process, memory, and attention. Oh yeah, Janet, cool. Okay, so you probably want to hear this. Meds make them want to not eat. Yes, Regina, that is so true. Okay, so Regina says yes, dopamine, that's dopamine. So guys, that makes sense for me because I've always been susceptible to depression and just kind of feeling low, lack of motivation. And again, I just thought that was part of who I was, okay? But again, it's mostly missed in girls, okay, because it manifests so differently. So the things that I just read to you, the things I just told you about myself are very common for girls, and a lot of people will think, oh, well, she's just a girl. She just talks a lot. She just gabby. That may be true, but it could be also, a sign something more as well. So to my story, again, I just went my whole life having trouble in school. Okay, I wasn't a horrible student, but I wasn't like a great student either. And I feel like any good grade that I was gonna get, I had to work like 5 times harder than anyone else. I couldn't focus on tests. I could literally, I could stay up, okay? I could do the study guides, do all the questions, get them all like in my brain, right? I have I used to have pretty good memory. But then whenever it would come time to take the test, and I remember the thing that always got me was the teacher being like, you have 45 minutes to take these tests. And as soon as the timer's up, you put your pencil down. And it stressed me. Like I couldn't focus when I knew I had only a certain time. And then going to take the test, I just remember I couldn't ever recall or focus enough to recall the things that I knew. And I knew them because I had spent so much time studying them, right? And I also had issues with sleeping most of my life. I would lay awake in bed, not be able to sleep. I always felt, and this is what kind of got my doctor like, okay, I always had, this is the best way to describe it. I always had like a bunch of internet browsers going in my brain, okay? So most people have the internet up and you maybe have 1 or 2 browsers, right? My brain always had like 10 browsers going, and I'd be trying to focus on one, but it was just like I would remember something or something would trigger a thought and I would jump over to something else, okay? So I always had a lot of really good ideas. I've always been creative and artistic, but I did have issues following through with those ideas and putting them into action because I couldn't focus long enough to implement the ideas, okay? So, I had been misdiagnosed with that, but I believe it was last year. I went to a doctor and I was there for something else, and he was just randomly asking me, how I was. And I was sharing that, I had some issues, and I was sharing all these symptoms I told him about, I just told you about, but I was telling him how it was really becoming really, really bad. And I was in a point in my life where I was really stressed. So these symptoms were starting to manifest even more. I would stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning, trying to get things done, and then be up at 7, 8 o'clock working on it again. But, even though I was working 16-hour days or something crazy like that, 20-hour days, I wasn't getting my stuff done. I was never getting anything completed. And it was crazy to me. I could not figure out why. And, no, I wasn't sitting on social media. I wasn't, messing around. I could not stay on it to do it, okay? So I shared that with the doctor, and I remember him saying, I want you to take a test for me. I'm like, okay. And he said, no, there's no right or wrong answers. I'm not going to tell you what it's for. I just want you to answer these truthfully. And he brings in this clipboard, and it has, I don't even know, I think he said like 100 questions. Okay. And I took them, and some of them were just really out there. Like, I literally did not know what this test is for. But in the end, he comes back into the room, and he said, okay, you scored on this test like above 90%. This is a ADD test that my colleague over at the college actually published. He said, has anyone ever talked to you about your symptoms and, ADD and what that is? And I was like, no. So he started telling me, and long story short, we started trying a medication. And whenever I started trying that medication, I was one that it worked for. So it helped me focus. It helped me get things done, helped me sleep better at night. So it was crazy because for the first time in my life, I was able to feel what a slowed down brain feels like being able to focus on one thing with intention and go all the way through it, right? And I went back to the doctor and I said, for a follow-up, because these meds are very closely monitored. So I went back, I think it was like a couple weeks later, and I said, I feel normal. Like, I never knew that this is how a brain was supposed to feel, right? I know, Greg, right? I said, I never knew this is like, I just assumed everybody's brain was going 1,000 miles a minute. Okay. And, and I just had come up with ways to cope with it my entire life. Okay. Okay. I don't know how to change Roblox. Anyways. Okay. And guys, I do take the CBD every day, but I do also, Regina, this is Maddox, actually. Isn't that crazy? Maddox, say hi. 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 I know he looks like Jack, though. Okay, can you go over there and play? And then we'll go to the park like we talked about. Can you go over to your desk? Okay, so anyways, guys, I still do have the medication, and I still do take it on days when I really, need it. So some days, I just start feeling really anxious because I just have a lot on my plate. I'm really stressed. I have a couple businesses, so I take it. So I have it right here. It's Adderall, 15 milligram Adderall, okay? And again, I don't have to take it every day anymore, which I'm gonna get to, but I take it whenever I need it. So now, going on, I wanna talk to you guys about Jack, my son, okay? And then we will share about the CBD oil, taking it. Okay, so, hi Kelly, with Jack. So we talked about me, what's going on there. So with Jack, okay, he's 6, he just started kindergarten. So I want to tell you guys some of the issues Jack has so you can better understand him. So since conception, we've had a lot of issues. We had diabetes, high blood pressure, he had a complicated birth, serious jaundice, had a hole in his trachea. So we didn't know that, and I was nursing him, right? So we went to the appointment, he had failure to thrive, had to see special doctors in St. Louis as a baby. He had a surgery on a testicle. He had one testicle. There's another surgery coming. He's had his tonsils taken out. He's had surgery to check some abnormal bumps in his neck, some lymph nodes they thought might be cancer. He's always just been super skinny, like under the percentage thing, And he's always had trouble sleeping. So he didn't sleep through the night until he was like 5, till like last year. And he still would wake up and, just scream and just have issues. Trouble focusing. Now he's in school. He's had some trouble focusing. He talks so fast, you guys, that's really where his speech issues come from. He's been in speech for the past 3 years. And he just has trouble absorbing the information and learning to slow down to talk. Just a lack of interest really in learning and sitting down to learn, and he fidgets like me. So if you notice, a lot of times I'll be holding this on a live, or I actually have one in my office, one in my car, and one by my bed. I have these little fidget things, and I actually don't have it right here. I think it's in the bathroom. But anyways, okay, so I started noticing Jack had a lot of the same things that I had used to have, right? So I took him to the doctor, right? And of course, doctor, asked me how did I feel about trying the medication. I knew from researching it, because I was put on it, I always research everything I'm put on, that I wanted to look for a natural solution, right? I didn't want to give him pharmaceutical meth, really, because the side effects, like I said earlier, the medication, the Adderall, doesn't work for everybody. So I've read a lot of stories where some people only have worse anxiety. They have insomnia, upset stomach, vomiting, stunted growth, hallucinations. It's some serious medicine, right? And it's highly, highly government controlled. So you have to take your hard script to the pharmacy. You have to talk to them each time. You have to go to the doctor, every couple weeks. And it's super expensive, guys. It's very expensive. And he's little. He's 6. So I wanted to try the natural solutions, all right? I did find out about the magnesium, all right? Needed extra magnesium, some B vitamin boosters, multivitamins. So we started doing that. And then we started looking at CBD oil. I would say I started looking at CBD oil as an option for Jack, a couple months ago when I really seriously started considering it. So let's see, I don't know when I actually started him on. I would say maybe like a month or so ago. Maybe about a month or so ago. Okay. I started, with this, which is what I take. Okay. The peppermint, Hempworx. Okay. And, this is the one you guys see me post the testimonies about on my page, the, full spectrum, pure, there's nothing added to this. Okay. So I started giving him 1 drop under his tongue twice a day. Now, when we first started, he didn't like it, right? Because it's a earthy taste, and then it has a little peppermint taste to it. And he would complain and, not want to take it and things like that. So I didn't want to force him to take it, right? So we quit taking it. And that was like a couple weeks ago. Right. And he only took it, I would say, like 2 days or so. So not enough time to really see if it was helping even. Okay. So we stopped taking it. It had been a couple weeks had passed, and he was just he got in trouble at school, not listening to his teacher, just a lot of issues. So I said to him, Jack, if we can try this, or we can, so basically I was like, we can try this or we can try this. Okay. So you're going to have to either swallow a pill, or you're going to have to put this under your tongue, 1 drop, under your tongue, and, just deal with the taste, you'll get used to it. So he doesn't like taking pills, he's 6. And he said, he would try this again. So we've been doing 1 drop twice a day. Okay, and it's been, I would say, probably about a week now. I have it in my room written down. And he's sleeping better. He goes to sleep faster. And I do see him starting to be calmer. Yesterday, he focused. He played with his brother for, I would say, a good 45 minutes to an hour, played with cars with him. And normally, Jack can't play very well with his brother. He gets impatient with him. He, takes his toys from him. He's not doing what he's supposed to. But he was in there actually playing, really nicely with him. And I complimented him. I told him, how good that was and all that. So, we're going to keep doing that. Yeah, I know, Judy. Now, and that's the thing. Like, I myself only take a 4th dropper. I've never had to increase. I only take literally, and I don't really count the drops. I did, but I think it was about, so I take maybe like this much twice a day, and I've had all those benefits that I have been able to get off the pain medication and, all of that. Now I did increase to the 1/2 dropper for a little bit and realized that the 1/4 is really where it's at for me. So, and just like I share with people, you know, you start small and then you find out where you need to be, okay? Because some people need to take the half or the whole dropper twice a day, and then some people can take, you know, a couple drops twice a day. And it's just your different body, I guess, and your metabolism, how you process it and whatnot. But for Jack, so far this past week, we've just been doing, yeah, about 1 drop, I would say. So anyways, guys, like I said, I've had a lot of questions about that. I know a lot of you guys wanted to know how Jack had been doing on it, and I wasn't able to really share because he wouldn't take it past those like 2 days. Hang on, do you want to go outside? Okay. But we are good. We're in about a week now, and I will keep updating you guys. All right. And then I also know, I also want to share with you guys, we did our first samples. We did our first samples this past week. Okay. I want to show you guys real quick. I want to show you guys real quick how those work. Okay. Yeah. So the doctor's fine. Regina, actually, what is it? Go get the iPad. Okay. Actually, Regina, I had my A1C come back 2 times, like totally fine, and I got to quit taking the metformin, and I think that was last Monday that I shared about that. And I had been telling my doctor, you know, about the CBD oil, and that's when we had decided to wean off the Depakote. So far I have been able to quit taking the Lortabs for my scoliosis, the Depakote, weaned off of that, and as of, I believe it was last Monday, the metformin as well. So my blood sugars are totally fine and right where they're supposed to be, and I took that for like 3 years. So the doctor is, he's good. He's fine with it. He sells like health supplements and stuff in his store, not his store. He doesn't have a store. It's a doctor's office. So he was familiar with it. He obviously like doesn't tell patients to take it, but he said, you know, that he's had enough patients come in saying they're taking it and he's seen results, you know, that he's really liking what he's seeing. Yeah, Regina, ask your doctor, because I mean, it's totally legal. It's, you know, really, they're doing a lot more studies and research and whatnot. So a lot of doctors are learning a lot more about it. But, you know, per the FDA, it is, you know, not a health supplement. What is it? Like a food supplement? Okay, it's like a supplement. Okay, and any supplements you take, you know, are just that. So it's not like a medication. You can't make medical claims or anything like that. Let's see here. Hi, Sarah. Hey, Wendy. So yeah, the doctor is good for it. Like I said, I'm down to like a pill in the morning and a pill in the evening. Hi, Mom. Oh, and I want to show you guys the samples. So we did samples last week and they sold. I had 8 samples and they sold out in like an hour. So we're going to do samples again next week, and I want to show you guys what they come. So it has the dropper, right? It has a dropper. And then the bottles that we use come completely sealed, and then I'm going to sterilize them. So see, they come completely sealed glass bottles. I'm going to sterilize them and then break down the bottles here, okay, into the samples. So one bottle here, this is $69, and it lasts me, I was about 2 months, okay? I haven't really ever timed it. And then the samples, you guys, are, what did I say? I think I said 15 milliliters. And if you do the 5 drops 2 times a day, this will last you a full month, and then you would get to see if it works for you. Just watch the page for samples. We already have 2 of the 8 spots filled for next week, and then they come, I'm going to mail them out in this padded envelope here. So I also seal them. So we also have like a seal thing, you know, so they won't leak or anything. But then you can try it and, you know, make sure you get the benefits of it, you know, before you jump in to buy the full product, I guess. The samples are 25, Regina. And I mean, like I said, I just make them, okay? So I'm just I just make them up. They're not from the company, but it is using the pure oil that I use. You know, like I said, I just put them in there and then they're $25. All right. And then, you know, I recommend, I mean, I know people recommend different things for the, you know, how to start or whatever, and I include that in the package too. So, like I said, you know, 5 drops twice a day. Oh, thanks, Mom. 5 drops twice a day. And then you can really start seeing, you know, how it's helping you and whatnot. Now, the thing is, though, this, like the full bottle, like I said, is $69. And they have a bottom of the bottle guarantee. So if you just wanted to go ahead and get the bottle to see if it works, get it straight from there. The link is in the description thingy. But yeah, so you can use this whole entire thing, and if you're like, oh, you know, whatever, this didn't change anything for me, you just send it back, you can get a refund. I honestly don't know anyone that's ever done that. All I ever hear are, I always get messages, and people are just shocked, like honestly shocked, because I was skeptical. I know other people are skeptical. So I actually really enjoy getting those messages because they're like, oh, wow, like, this is amazing. Like, this totally works. And it's awesome, right? It's natural. It's awesome. And people are loving it. And I love hearing the stories. But there is that option. So anyways, I think I'll probably get these samples made tomorrow and shipped out tomorrow or Friday. And then I will open up for the next round. So we have 6 spots left for those. All right. So if you're interested in those, you can message me. I can get you on the list, I guess, and we will go from there. So, all right, guys. But if you do have any questions about the oil or the ADD, whatever, if I'm able to help you, I will answer. If I don't know the answer, I will try to research, find it out for you. Okay. You guys have a good day. Cheryl, I will definitely message you. All right. Bye, guys.